think for those of us who can,
Okay, I just
who
want to.
speak English without.
I just want to document. So I'm here, right? Yeah. And what happens is that I ended up putting this in here. I'm actually attempting to organize a discussion panel on educational reform, but I have been placed in timeout. Maybe I am stepping on a little bit, right? But I'm talking on what they're talking about. I'm saying relevant things here, right?
American society, to be able to make inroads into corporate culture.
Korea society is not really as Korea society. Remember, she's part of KCF, so this is a not-for-profit industrial complex. She looks very relatable. She's saying a lot of things, but she also works to prevent certain people, right? Certain people that are gay-kept are pushed in multiple platforms. Not saying she's all bad, right? But notice that she's not just pushed here at the Korea Society, she's also pushed at the Council for Korean Americans, right? It's kind of like some Kevin Hart type situation. This is an amazing interview. Yeah, it's good. It's truthful in a way that I appreciate, but they cannot have conversation with me about this topic, even though I've been working on this topic and even was at the counter protest with, with Al Sharpton, well, actually protesting against Al Sharpton, and the exclusion of Asian Americans from the DEI conversation.
Really liked having gone to law school. I loved law school.
She might know about what's going on, she might not. She might know about me being excluded, she might not. Let's see once again who the Korea Society is, because the Korea Society is a group that I don't interact with as much because it's more in the Asian studies field. Yeah? Okay, I really interact more with the community organizations, not for profit, with individual and corporate members that dedicated solely to the promotion of, yeah, this is, I'm more concerned with community and helping people, right, and like addressing the disabled, people probably in prison, right, people that are low class. Remember that they said in the stuff we watched in the previous stream that Koreans are very, very intensely, what is it, obsessed with class, to tell you the truth, right? It's in our language and everything. And, okay. I, Korean side of the news? Okay. So, the promotion of greater awareness, understanding cooperation between the people of the United States and Korea. Learn more about us here. So, I will actually send them an email later on. Busan Mayor. Okay, this is actually a city in Korea. Park Hyung-jun. So, it's cool that they're actually having these people on the show, right? I think that a Harvard professor with a PhD from Harvard came into town. I told the Korean Society about Emmanuel Past Strike. Once again, maybe it's not true. Maybe it's true. I don't know. But it seems weird that Korean Americans, we remember how far, we just saw the last stream, right, about how far they will go for a Western education. And it's not just any Western education. They were talking about Harvard right here. Okay? Someone with a PhD from Harvard. Actually, there's a picture of Emmanuel Pasternak sitting next to a former president of Korea itself. I think I emailed this to the Korea Society. In fact, let's look at the email itself. Let's go ding up the receipts right here. Oh my goodness, this is hilarious. Korea Society. I probably did tell you the Korea because of Emil Pastrak's specialty in Korea Society. Maybe it, okay. So Emil Pastrak. Oh my. This is also talking about the history. Oh, Emil Pastrak. The retirement truth. Pretty sure I did email them about this, right? Yeah. Once again, he is a. This is my mailing list. Korean American discussion as we pregame for AAPI month, right? Talking about CI GU. I knew who that lady was, right, because of her. She actually did some work regarding that. Korean Community Center in Annandale. That's in Washington, D.C. Yes, after that, I think I forwarded this to all a bunch of Korean American organizations, I think. Why accountability? Oh, and these are the Black Panthers. Okay. Yeah, because the Black Panthers also have some history with Korean in government. Hmm. Was North Korea. Okay. This was the email I was gonna send. This is also sending this is weird that Yeonmi Park only interacts with non-Asian American men. Pretty weird. Almost in housing meeting. Okay, well, no, I wouldn't put Korean society on that one. Korea society. Well, generally I do like KCF, right? Korean American Community Formation, or Noto Tool. I've emailed them so many times, right? Yeah. And we'll look at the organization in a second. But let's go back to their actual. Am I still in timeout? Speaking to my heart, as are my thoughts and values. Where are the Korean Americans, by the way? Okay, Teresa Finlay. That's cool. Okay. To my thoughts and values. What do you know about? Maybe you're Korean American. Maybe you're not, right? Um, she is speaking to my heart. Well, she's saying a lot of true stuff. BZ. Okay, Aaron Lay. These don't sound like Korean American names. Maybe it is though. Who knows?
So many of us, we say like, what did your parents want? Like, was it a doctor or a lawyer that you were supposed to be? When you're growing up, and there really wasn't room, to be thinking about being a writer or being maybe an actor, or even for me to think about broadcast journalism. I think if I hadn't seen Connie Chung, on TV, like just seeing somebody who looked like me, like allowed a younger Asian American, to kind of aspire that, oh, maybe I could try for that. And I think you are that today for many, many Asian Americans. I don't mean to put a big, weight
No,
on
I
your
don't feel it.
shoulders,
I don't feel
but
it.
but the representation makes a big difference, right? I mean, in terms of just allowing people to dream. But I get what you're saying. It's not easy. It's not an easy life, and I think you want to kind of balance that, right? Like, go for your dreams, but try, yeah.
I try to tell people that you have a year. Try for a year. Like, look stupid for a year. How do you feel looking stupid? Because
I've actually emailed KECF on this particular topic exactly, and I knew it. Yo. So the thing is, right? I'm gonna send the email to the Korean Society. We're gonna try it now. We're gonna try another one to KECF. We're gonna document our work. Yep. They made a statement, exactly. I remember this. This is why I know about it, right? KECF, this is New York City. Grace Lee in a panel discussion. Interesting. New York. Maybe she. The bonds that keeps ruling the community. Okay, sure, whatever. Yeah, this is New York. No, this is Manhattan. Exactly. And who are they rocking with, right? Yeah? Wow. Maybe I could apply for a grant. Yeah, okay. Power. That's right. Without power, there's no justice. have on these? Okay. Ascend partners, artists and producers. Okay, that's cool. Safon and Juju, yeah. Kirkland and Ellis. Okay. There's money here. Oh, Sarah Min? I wonder if this is Sarah Min. I know. There's a lot of Koreans with very similar names, okay? Like, it's not really, Jenny Park. There's so many Jenny Parks, okay? Like, no knock on her. You know how many Adlis there are? Oh my god, there's Lisa Kim. I'm sorry to say, there's like Ed Lee. Look right there. There's Haeyeon. Oh my god, there's so many Haeyeons. Oh my god. Ed Lee. They got Jimmy Lee. There's another one right there. Where's David? Where's David Choi or David Park? Oh, David. David. John. Yeah, very. Chris. They always give us these names, right? Mike, David, John, Chris. Very, very popular. David. Right? Is there another? I said David, right? Yeah. See this? David Kim, David Lee. That's. There's probably another Ed. There's a Steve here. I guarantee there's a Steve here somewhere. Steven. Oh look, yeah. I told you, Mike. Dan. They reuse a lot of names. Dan is rare. Okay, it's David, Mike, Ed, Steve, Chris, John. Jonathan is also popular. Okay, there's another Michael there. Yeah, I'm telling you right now. That's the Korean way. Funny. We will be emailing them. Let's see if they have some grants here. But I don't think they're going to acknowledge or really. They've been actually ignoring everything that I'm sending their way. Maybe this could change, but they're also getting their funding. You know, actually, I saw the guy from frickin' Cagney, and he said, I have it on videotape. He says, I'm sorry I didn't email you back. I think they're being threatened by elected officials. Hey, it's nothing if I go in the garbage. Right? They have a lot of other people they could fill the space with. They don't need me. I've been the garbage my whole fucking life. Yeah? I was always the expendable one. So throw me in the garbage. Watch this magic.
But I trust you. And I think even now, my parents, because I have done so many weird things now. I mean, I'm always like, wow, how did I get in this room? Like, why am I sitting next to the president? Like, I went to the state dinner, the White House state dinner. That was kind of crazy. And my husband and I were thinking, oh my gosh, we got invited. That's so cool. And mostly I was worried about what shoes I was going to wear because I had broken my toe, but that's another story. And
They need to raise up relatable Koreans before the Korean War pops off. And they need to make sure these Koreans only say certain things and don't say other things. That's what's going on right the fuck now. Believe it or not. Okay? You see all this shit going off, Israel, Palestine? We've been on the same fucking timeline. But they always convinced you whether we starved like fucking Ethiopia, yeah? Whether we had an ongoing war, whether we had nuclear weapons, they always told you that our shit didn't matter, we were expendable, fuck us, yeah? Now they have some female, not saying the females don't deserve to be heard, they are shit on in Korean society, I'll be real with you. Korean society is not necessarily, well, females also there are freaking insane, crazy, and are very dangerous. So, they are not no pushovers either, okay? I'm by insane and crazy, I'm not saying that I'm not insane and crazy either. I definitely am, okay? But Korean women are definitely have the society can definitely be harsh on them. They are harsh back. They are not weaponless. Um, in respect to them, but you know, I'm telling you what's going on right now. And Emmanuel Pastrick once again, right? Yeah. Who knows who we're working with? Never can be sure of anything. But the fact of the matter is that he has a PhD from Harvard in Asian Studies, and I have pictures of him sitting, and he gave me the first U.S. presidential candidate debate in history. I'm not saying right that they could at least acknowledge that I don't need to be on this fucking stage, honestly. I really fucking don't. But Why the fuck can I? You saw how he said the very first thing is I'm the first one to pop up, and I said, "Did you know the new hidden Asian American curriculum has no mention of the L.A. riots?" That's right, Miss KACF. Wasn't your big work right here, Miss KACF? Wasn't it in exposing? Right? She said at the beginning. Yeah, let's listen again. Y'all are having this in New York City somewhere, right? I'm gonna go to the next one. And then all my cars go in the trash. Stop playing like you're somebody. Not allowed to be nobody.
Explore the central themes of our human, if I may call you that, came to the United States, I understand, as a little girl in 1976.
Who's this Nancy Reagan lookalike? Who is this?
I first went to Korea as a slightly older girl in 1975, the first of either gender.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I mean, I just noticed that. I'm used to reading the first woman, and this says she's the first Korean American broadcast reporter in New York City when she was a correspondent for WNYW Fox Channel 5.
That's right. The Korean American women get to go into the spaces first. What you? I know it's a surprise to you, white women, but it ain't no surprise to me. Yo, Sandra Oh, right? Yeah. Before this Korean American Act, I'm telling you right now, Korean American. I'm not saying it's their fault, and I'm not saying that they're being used and abused in other ways. It's quite unfortunate, right? Yeah. You're not listening to Korean Americans like me. You're really not. And in the wealthy areas, right? Yeah, there is more of that thing going on. But in the lower communities, right? Yeah. Um, how many women are working in the mailroom? How many women are working right as security guards? I mean, there are some. It's going up. Yeah. But we have the dirt grit work. You know what I mean? Work that other people don't want to do, like picking up trash. There's women doing that too. But a lot of dudes end up doing that stuff. A lot of the ugly dudes or the weaker dudes end up doing a lot of that work that, you know, the work that the disposables do. And it's really sad when women get caught up in that too, because sometimes they get caught in those spots too. So I'm not saying they definitely not immune from that, from being lumped into that category. But there's just a general unawareness of the intellectual elites as to certain unfairness that goes, because some unfairness is acknowledged and some is not, and the unfairness and the discrimination that is not acknowledged, those are the really usually the almost always it's like a law. Those are the worst victims. The ones you do not know about. Those are the ones who are suffering the most.
She has been nominated more recently for an Emmy for her work as a contributing reporter to CUNY TV's Asian American Life, which you can see nationally on PBS.
CUNY TV, yeah, she's very connected with the whole academia, right? Yeah, so even in this one, they seem like they're going off the rails. She doesn't know why she's being lifted up, and you know, I like the things she's saying. Like, you know, I don't want to take, but there's some people, right? Yeah, like if something seems weird, there's something weird going on, and there's certain people that are allowed to come up, and really they're pushing her in all the space now, CKA, things like that, right? It sounds like some of her work is real, like you know, as from the research, she was saying some real stuff that was actually quite interesting to myself. So I appreciate it, right? But some people are not allowed to, that have already confronted things in certain ways. I wonder if I'm allowed to say something again. I'll try to interact soon. Let's go to the. Let's go to the current. Let's see what they're saying now.
Dinner. That was.
That's a pretty quick. Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Hilda Ortiz, Jules Amidala. Where's the Korean Americans at? I guess it's over now. 13 watching, yeah, it's going down. So it's about an hour. Interesting. That's watch a little bit of this right here. This Ukrainian unification fading prospect. This is an interesting one.
Hello and welcome to today's program.
We're also gonna look at
Judging from the Defense Ministry statement yesterday from North Korea, it was the first formal response to the Freedom Shield, and their main point was very interesting. They said that our soldiers are so busy doing economic construction in the rare, we cannot really respond.
Of the Center for the Study of Liberal Democracy at the Korea Institute for National Unification, KINU. We've been paying close attention to your fantastic research, but this is the first opportunity to welcome you as a guest to the Korea Society. Welcome, Sangshin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So before I turn it over to our panelists, I want...
Oh, schnickety snap, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here, okay. So apparently they have her email right there. Oh, she has an assistant? Oh, her agent. She has an agent too. But maybe she has direct email. Oh my goodness. Well, what the? Speaking engagements, creative artist agency. No, CAA is like, oh my god. CAA, really? Okay. This is actually, let's see. Is it legit? 3,025 countries, influential company and talent agency business. Let's see controversy. Let's go to the Wikipedia, right? I've heard of this organization before. I would not be surprised if their Wikipedia also had some type of controversy history, blah, 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 blah. William Morris. This is like the Gatekeeper Central right here. Packaging talent, okay. Yeah, okay, grudges can last for years. Movie producer Jay Weston sued CAA about the rights to a film, and years later it was revealed that Weston was totally ostracized by the agency. CAA would do the minimally required legal task of passing along required offers, but otherwise staying uninvolved. Agents had a reputation of living in a fast cars, rooftop bars, colorful yet self-destructive life. Yeah, this organization CAA has been involved with some controversy and also, abuse and harassment by Weinstein, was actively involved in cover-ups. Yeah, there's, right, if you want to manufacture, like, the future, creative artist agency is kind of, like, involved with a lot of this Harvey Epstein and, honestly, I think Jeffrey Epstein type of activity. They also have like a lot of politicians. I believe that Andrew Yang was also part of Creative Artists Agency and was represented by them. And this is a path, right? Free food for millionaires. Okay. National Book Award, the Library Peace Prize. It sounds like she did some decent work. The Guggenheim Foundation, okay. And the Bradford Institute of Advanced Study at Harvard and New York Foundation for the Arts. Well, and Knightfell Hall of Fame and New York State Writers Hall of Fame. Damn. Well, it has to be pretty. I mean, I think it should be decent. I mean, it's hard to tell. A lot of artists are made, but maybe she needs protection from Creative Artists Agency, or maybe not. I don't know. Yeah. Have always lived with fear. Okay, interesting. She's published by the New York Times. Is this a good sign or a bad sign? Right. Also, she's published by Politico. Are these articles she's written? Sugar in My Bowl. Real Women Write About Real Sex. Edited by Erica Jong. Okay, wait a second. Okay. Vogue? She's writing for Vogue? Really? Is she the author of this? Or is she responding? Can always come home. Okay, what is this? I don't see any signature here. They're talking about this guy named Sam. My 13-year-old son Sam will return home from the international school in Hofu, a suburb of Tokyo. She's not from there, is she? Who wrote this article? Is this? Oh, by Min. So she did write this, and she was in Tokyo. As an expatriate living in Japan, she believed that she had flight in her blood, but okay, interesting. I did not know she lived in Japan. Interesting. Okay, and she with her husband. Okay, interesting. Her son's name is Sam. Okay. So we will be reaching out to this person. We'll see if they're pretty, I guess, a big shot. Damn, you looking good. Hey, look at you. Yeah. Wow. An interview with Benjamin Lee. Interesting. What truly matters? Natural search for author. Okay. Originally born in Seoul in Queens, right? She did speak about that. She went to Bronx High School of Science. She went to Yale University. And then she won the Fiction and Nonfiction Writers Award. Then she went to law school. She advanced her law career. And then she became a writer. But when did she go to Japan? After chronic liver disease test for mortality, liver disease is very painful, by the way. It's very debilitating. If I'm going to die, what do I want to leave behind? So she decided to write. Hey, I'm doing a similar thing, right? Yeah, I gave one life myself. And she's done that. Hey, that's pretty cool. Alright. Well, she lived in New York City. So she lives in New York City now? Interesting. Well, let's send her an email. Who wrote this, by the way? Alana Chung? Alexis Chung. Interesting. And she's also been in the New York Times. Originally from Hawaii. Let's look this person up right quick. Okay. I have also some information to tell them about the abuse that happened in the Yang Gang and other AAPI stuff going on that I'm trying to kick off right now. I think this is the same Alexis Chung, so let's add you on Instagram. You know, I used to just do this all in private, but now I'm going to document every freaking step of this and show all the people that don't get back to me, all the people that are not reporting on certain things, right? Yeah. She's, okay. Cool, okay. Who's that, your dad? Maybe, who knows? Family, friends. It's interesting. Anyways, I don't see really the writing on here. You're a good-looking girl, so I guess you're living your life and maybe writing them, you know. It's not really for Instagram, right? It's more for photos, but let's go and find CAS. There's some reason for concern here. Defections from the William Morris Agency. The William Morris Agency also has problems. Yeah? Alright, so... New York Times, New Yorker. Exciting chapter mentioned the interesting. When was that? In 2018? One day she just moved to Boston? What? Did it say she just moved to Boston? What is she? I mean, she's been all around the world then. I mean, damn. Japan, Boston. Alright. Interesting. Anyways, let's go back to Minjin Lee and let's go and send her an email. Was it contacting them? I want her assistant. I wonder if I could ever contact her directly. Interesting. Well, very interesting. Well, I'm going to take a short break, and I'm going to send this email. Okay. No, let's contact the human first. I'm pretty, like, 99.99999% sure that the freaking, 99.999% sure that their funding is being threatened. That's why none of them can ever respond. Minjin might be a little bit more independent. I'm very concerned. Concerned to piss the fuck off. While we're doing that, we're gonna watch. Is the State Department talking points hard to tell? Might be, it might not be. Anything possible to prove otherwise is just as possible that they are. It's also possible they are not. But we're gonna listen to this.
The point was very interesting. They said that our soldiers are
very interesting, isn't it?
Policy shift. Others say it's just a simple recognition of the reality. In explaining Pyongyang's hostile shift, South Korean unification minister has pointed to 4 factors. 1, domestic economic struggles. 2, the surging popularity of South Korean Hallyu media. 3, seeking attention before the U.S. election and South Korean election, I might add, and justifying its nuclear program. Jungmin, over to you for your thoughts and analysis of what exactly is going on here.
Hi, my name is Jungmin Kim. I actually wrote an analysis immediately after the North Korean announcement in January at the time. Thank you, Jonathan, for reading it and inviting me to talk about this. But it's been a few months and a lot happened in the meanwhile. So let me review just very quickly what the main argument was, what the main rhetoric was, and what happened afterwards, like you asked. The core of Kim Jong-un's argument on December 31st was that unification is no longer possible. It's an impossible goal. And I would like to review what kind of North Korean statements and announcements later on followed up on that. Next slide, please. If you look at this KCTV footage, it's actually a good summary of what's going on right now after the announcement. You can see that they no longer show the entire Korean peninsula, but they drew a line in between South Korea and what they call ROK now, and North Korea. And the gist of the argument, the new policy line, Roson, is that South Korea is now a belligerent foreign state, and they want to get rid of the concept of minjuk. And they actually followed up with that in a very physical manner. We could see we broke the story on the South.
Some analysts are urging us to interpret this as a policy shift. Others say it's just a simple recognition of the reality. In explaining Pyongyang's hostile shift, South Korean unification minister has pointed to 4 factors. 1, domestic economic struggles. 2, the surging popularity of South Korean Hallyu media. 3, seeking attention before the U.S. election and South Korean election, I might add, and justifying its nuclear program. Jungmin, over to you for your thoughts and analysis of what exactly is going on here.
Hi, my name is Jungmin Kim. I actually wrote an analysis immediately after the North Korean announcement in January at the time. Thank you, Jonathan, for reading it and inviting me to talk about this. But it's been a few months and a lot happened in the meanwhile. So let me review just very quickly what the main argument was, what the main rhetoric was, and what happened afterwards, like you asked. The core of Kim Jong-un's argument on December 31st was that unification is no longer possible. It's an impossible goal. And I would like to review what kind of North Korean statements and announcements later on followed up on that. Next slide, please. If you look at this KCTV footage, it's actually a good summary of what's going on right now after the announcement. You can see that they no longer show the entire Korean peninsula, but they drew a line in between South Korea and what they call ROK now, and North Korea. And the gist of the argument, the new policy line, Roson, is that South Korea is now a belligerent foreign state, and they want to get rid of the concept of minjuk. And they actually followed up with that in a very physical manner. We could see we broke the story on the satellite imagery, hints of the Arch of Unification going down and other symbols going down as well, including the websites, including the term minjuk. They changed the Korean Peninsula photos like this, or images. And the foreign ministry, not the department related to inter-Korean unification, have moved very fast, almost even less than a day after Kim Jong-un's announcement, to get rid of the departments and organs related to the inter-Korean relations. So they're really treating South Korea as a foreign state, just like they do with other countries as well. This part is very underreported, but the Kim Jong-un's speech also involved this a long paragraph about how the concept of min족, the compatriot, it should be eliminated from the political culture. From this, I judge that maybe their target audience was the domestic audience and North Korean people, that the message is for them largely as well. But looking at how so far for the past 2 months, they did not report in state media or any photos, any videos, any text about getting rid of the Arch of Unification, for example. It seems like maybe they're a little bit cautious about people blaming Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il directly, perhaps, or looking like they are. But the core argument still is that they worked on it. The three Kims worked on it, but it didn't work. Next slide, please. And the thing we have to keep a very close eye on is also the illicit border argument, and this may come up very soon in more development in North Korea. Kim Jong-un asked the military to prepare for potentially subjugating South Korea, and they said the NLL, Northern Limit Line, is illicit, and hinting potentially at pushing it down, or at least rhetorically trying to claim the region south of the current de facto maritime border. And this is something not only South Korea, but also United Nations Command and US has to keep a close eye on as well, because it immediately influences their role as well. But so far until this morning as well, it seems like North and South Korea are both being very cautious about this. On North Korea's end, they will be doing a constitutional amendment this spring. We have to keep a very close eye on how they actually define the new border. But I will leave it to Dr. Lee to explain this a little more. On the South Korean end, interestingly, the Freedom Shield, the springtime U.S.-South Korea joint drills is going on. And I went to the briefing, talking to the JCS and the USFK head of press offices, and I asked them if they will be resuming border drills, and they said no. It seems like they are also very aware of the possibility of increased risk at the border, like skirmishes. And it looks like both sides are trying to not escalate something too quickly. But next slide, please. But this part has been interpreted in various ways, including some of the viral columns out of DC. But Kim Jong-un didn't say that North Korea will be subjugating South Korean territory immediately. It was caveated only to, prepare to subjugate South Korea if needed. And it seems this is continuing, judging from the Defense Ministry statement yesterday from North Korea. It was the first formal response to the Freedom Shield, and their main point was very interesting. They said that our soldiers are so busy doing economic construction in the rare, we cannot really respond to you right now. This is new, very interesting. It was up in economic articles before, but not in military articles. So this is interesting, and it seems that they are trying to position themselves as someone that's de-escalating at the border and trying to, build up the justification to say that U.S. and South Korea is the axis of evil. That's not doing a defensive drill. Next slide, please. For the coming weeks and months, something to keep a close eye on is that North Korea said that they're disappointed at both left and right in South Korea. It depends on interpretation, but it seems, first of all, they are hinting that they're not interested in someone winning in presidential or general election in South Korea, be it DP or PPP. Or it could be an expression related to how they were so disappointed with how they feel betrayed by the Moon Jae-in administration in the previous, during the Hanoi summit and all. And I wonder what Dr. Lee and Dr. Everstad thinks. And finally, next slide, please. I haven't written about this yet, but I wonder if this has something to do with the next generation. And I wonder if they will link this unification is impossible rhetoric to link it to the justification for the fourth Kim in North Korea. When Kim Jong-un's daughter was first introduced, the justification was that the nuclear weapon and the ICBM is for the new generation, like the daughter. I wonder if Kim Jong Un will link the unification abandonment thing to how this is something good for the next generation in North Korea so that they don't get roped into this impossible dream of unification and that they will only seek ways to secure security and economic prosperity for North Korean residents. I wonder if they will actually link to that. And if so, it will lead to an ideological basis perhaps for the fourth Kim as well. And I will leave you there.
Jungmin, thank you so much. Excellent analysis and so much food for thought. And I hope I could tee up some of our other speakers, Sangshan and Nick, for some additional follow-up here. But just to prime the pump a little bit, what got me thinking was this contested border in the NLL and the West Sea, such a historic flashpoint where we have seen conflict before. Of course, the sinking of the South Korean naval corvette, the Cheonan, then the bombardment of Yeonpyeong-do, which resulted in South Korean fatalities, right? This time, less willingness on the South Korean side to just absorb those losses and remain quite calm. We also saw that interpreted as building up Kim Jong-un's bona fides at the time before he came
right.
of age as leader. So wondering what types of military provocations could help, as you suggested, similarly pave the way for a future North Korean leader. Also remarkable, the shift away from unification in as much as previous generations of Kims have used it as a basis for their own legitimacy. And the ethnic Korean people, the claim to be the rightful legitimate representation of all Korean people on the entire peninsula, such an important Kim family claim to that legitimacy. And then finally, your remark about soldiers being busy. This is another remarkable one because A, we could see how Kim Jong-un really wants to point to his economic construction development as a way to build up his constituencies and support domestically. But it's also a very startling admission that the soldiers are more busy and more needed building new homes and apartments and roads and bridges. And not
that's why it's surprising that the military is saying it.
Yeah, very, very. And we knew this was going on, but for them to say so, right, is pretty startling. Okay, so offering some opportunity here to Sangshan and Nick to provide some commentary.
Yes, I will have some quick comments. Before important elections in South Korea and the United States, North Korea has always done some crazy things to escalate tensions. So I'm not that surprised to see the same thing happening again. Many experts, including Jungmin and South Korea's Minister of Unification, interpret this change in North Korean policy as a sign of internal conflict or struggle. However, I think the opposite interpretation is also possible. With this policy change, Kim Jong-un has repudiated the legacy of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, the foundation of his power. Kim Jong-il has been North Korea's supreme leader for 13 years, and now middle-aged. He may now feel that his power is stable enough that it is okay to step out of the shadow of his grandfather and father. Maybe that's why he is doing it. That's one thing, but it doesn't mean that he may be wrong or right. Maybe Kim Jong-un is believing his power is secure, but maybe he doesn't know what is really happening in his country. But that's my comment. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Sangshan. Nick, any thoughts on this one before we move on?
It seems like a really important watershed set of doctrinal changes in DPRK. And we always, as Americans or South Koreans, look at what North Korean pronouncements or behavior mean to us. As Sangshan was saying, we might also be looking at what it means to DPRK leadership and DPRK society as well. We receive the external...
I think I'm going to cut it off soon, yeah? Is this Langley headquarters right here? What is this? Maybe it's not, right?
Would help us understand how this is being how this is being explained to the domestic population, the subjects. Um, what what strikes me as thought-provoking and fascinating is that changes in North Korean doctrine are not done with a sudden abandon.
Yeah.
There's an enormous amount of thought and care that goes into doctrine, pronouncement, propaganda, whatever you wish to call it. And deciding that one is going to make a break with Kim Jong il is not so surprising because he was widely reviled even within North Korea as a terrible emperor, not just a monster, but also a very bad ruler. But making the break with grandfather, with the foundational figure,
Yeah.
suggests indeed, as Sangshu says, more than a little confidence about
Yeah.
about control and command and the vision for the future. So that part of it seems to me really interesting. Of course, um, separating the two Koreas conceptually doesn't preclude an eventual unification by absorption or a unification by accession, as Jungmin was mentioning. That possibility is still on the table. But there's also the other question of, is this going to lead to a possible change in military doctrine as well? Is this
Yeah.
going to lead towards something more like a defense sufficiency approach? On the one hand, North Korea is still.
Of course, is that NK News? Like North Korea News? What is this? Wait, Jung Jin Kim, elite correspondent, NK. What is this NK News? Are you serious? What is this NK News? Based in Seoul. Oh, really? I thought it was a guy. Okay. Oh, okay. I thought this was Jung. I'm sorry, yeah. I don't know all the Korean names. Jung Min? Does that sound like a man's name or a woman's name? Lee Sang Shin? Maybe this is Lee Sang Shin? Okay, I guess this is Lee Sang Shin. Okay, my bad. Okay. Interesting. Well, let's send her an email. What's up? Okay, so we're gonna send an email to. Okay, let's just copy. Okay, let's first of all let's go to the past email I just sent. We don't want to rewrite the whole freaking crap over again. Oh, well, I also sent this to BD Lim and who else? I sent a whole bunch, shit ton of people. I sent it to a whole Korean American Association of Greater New York. I sent it to Past Strike. This is Y Cho. Who was that? I forgot off the top of my head. KCS, Korean Christian Services or Korean Children's Services. I don't know. Youth Against Displacement. They have some kind of Chinese girl. I have to look at the emails again. They're getting me. They're also trying to eject me from the public housing. They're creating clones of me in every fucking. Now they have an Asian American that does housing. But except for they don't talk to me, and they're better looking. And that's really, I swear to fucking God, it's true. They are recreating me in every field of activism, right? Because I'm unique as an Asian American housing advocate, right? They have to create a clone because I'm using that, right? The fact that I'm the only Asian American, so they're developing replacements. It's so sad. Whatever. Hey, you know what? They wouldn't do it if they KCS, Council of Korean Americans. I sent them the email too. They ain't responding. We should see the emails from Council of Korean. Let me show you the emails I get from them. This is also interesting. My mother is from North. Oh, this is me emailing North Korea, Kim Il Sung University. That's what this says. Yeah, okay, some pretty not so shit. Okay. Due to the violence faced at home, which left from the war, I left to live on the streets. The people on the streets, maximum is come focus on people discarded by society. Okay, this is pretty much you know. And then I talk about how Yeonmi Park has nothing but white men and black men, but there's no Asian American men on there. And I say it's weird. I say the anti-war movement is also excluding Korean Americans, and we have a lot of relevant things to say about the war, right? I don't know if you saw the last live stream where the lady was talking about it, but she was talking about how the impacts of Japanese colonialism, right? Yeah. And then they were talking about displacement, right, and how that affected their lives. It's because the war had been displaced. Rage Against the War Machine with no war victims. Kim Jong-un and DPRK resident study. Oh yeah, I'm emailing my stuff over to DPRK so they could see what's going, well, how I'm being treated out here, and they could see, right? Yeah, my body of work. I didn't just start, I just started emailing these North Koreans, right? Because I'm so frustrated because these people on the other side, well, it's not just me. Emmanuel Pastrick, a guy with a PhD in Asian studies from Harvard. Are you kidding me? Like, what is this? This is some gay-kept Harvey Epstein freaking Puff Daddy bullcrap for real. Anyways. Okay, so I just got a message from Emmanuel Pastrick. I asked her, do you think Korea Society would have you on the show? When you came to New York City, it's where they wouldn't interact with you. Okay, cool. Okay, when you came to New York City, it's weird they wouldn't interact with you. You have a PhD from Harvard in Asian Studies, North Korean citizen. But they're not going to do anything with this guy. I'm telling you right now, they're gay kept. Creative Artists Agency. You got this lady, right, who's getting money from elected officials, so they are, threatened with their funding, right? And just telling you, it's what it is. Yeah. She has a job with CUNY TV. Oh my God, so corrupt. Oh my God. Okay. Palestine and Korea have so much in common, but the white millions keep us siloed off and monopolize the resource. This is all true. They don't care at all, right? Yeah, no response. Poverty, disregard, punishment. Fuck all this shit. Yeah. So, Council of Korean Americans got this. Green Party of Alaska got this. This is just so many people got this. This is so dumb. Anyways, they just don't respond. This is the bullshit. So we're gonna NK. What is NK News? They even have do they have a red fucking star there? I'm sorry, sorry about the language. North Korea's forgotten embrace of satirical cartoons. Okay. North Korean stories. It is NK. It is North. Wow. And it's all in English. How nuts is this? Lena Park? Yo, I gotta talk to Efang Bremer. Yo, what's the chances people are CIA? Like, The Guardian and The Observer. And he wrote features on Korea for Dutch newspaper NRC. This guy's from Dutch guy. Okay, that's cool. Who is, okay, let me see with Lena Park, okay. A news trainee. At the age of Canada. She's from Canada. Interesting. Who's this Jungmin Kim again? The lead correspondent at NK News and editorial director at Korea Pro, based in Seoul. They have a whole entire newspaper dedicated to North Korea. Are you sick? Well, I hope so. Yeah, this is not really cool here, okay? Getting pimped out here. Interestingly enough, what's his name? Even though Trump made some concessions, it's not really nice. Kishida received no prize for boosting military ties. U.S. official. Is that Biden? No, Kurt Campbell. Why does that look like Biden? Space Forces hold first drills against North Korean GPS jamming attacks. Sex crime allegations. Storm drill countering North Korea. Shit, stuff is real over there, man. They're worried about subs and missiles and bombs. It is real, folks. But you know, when it's time for the anti-war movement, right? Yeah, they gotta have all the ones here now. They want to have female. It was fucking disgusting, man. And that's because that's more appealing to the people that's in power. They having some guys around now because I'm making noise. They'll build them up over a period of years. Yeah, I'm extremely bitter about this shit. Anyways, we're gonna email this lady right here. I'm tired of writing these emails. So let me just remind myself of the lies and the bullshit and find the motivation to keep going. I'm telling you, normal people can't do this because of the damage that I've taken and the anger that I have. That's what fuels me to keep fucking going. To go forever. Just not gonna stop. Not tolerating no more of this shit. Okay. Found your work. Wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Sung in 007. Let's Dermot Hudson. Let's bring him in. I was flabbergasted. I just found the Korea Society. We talk about Retalk. Okay, let's get it right here. Okay. Now, I have prolific evidence that shows that I reached out to many people many times. Is Korea? Provide a perspective from a Korean American. This could be a Koreans understand and the results of integration are. I also saw, what's the name? He might have a separate conversation with Min Jin Lee. Oh yeah, okay. And there were some similarities. Understand this. But I'd like to share it from a male perspective. Not just male perspective. Activist. And what else? United States. What else? Incarcerated. Who else do I work with? Asian, right? Yeah. And many more. Yeah. I had the only third party. Okay, independent uniform. First, I hosted the first U.S. presidential debate in history. And one of the candidates used the Korean language. Importance and relevance of Korea on the world stage. Excited to meet you. Thank you very much. Yes, okay. Let's watch some more of these videos here with the doctors saying Dr. Lee sang Shin. Oh my goodness, there's some. But he's actually in something different. He's director of the Center for Study of Liberal Democracy at Korean Institute of National. I don't even know what that is. Okay, so Jonathan Corrado. Oh yeah, Jonathan Corrado. He's the policy director. He's not even Korean. Like, it's just a little weird, but okay, let me just look this guy up right quick. Okay, Jonathan Corrado on Twitter says, my latest publication in the International Journal of Intelligence and Counterintelligence. I'm making this shit up. Like, is this guy CIA? Like, what do you think? I'm banned on Twitter. Yeah, that's what I got to say about Twitter. Okay, anyways, I can't even see that stuff. I'm sorry. Oh well. Anyways, like you can see right here, right? Supposedly he's tweeting over here. My latest publication in the International Journal of Intelligence and Counterintelligence. What are you doing, bro? Conducts research on armed security diplomacy. What? Wow, Russia's estimated 25% of its federal spending on defense puts on the same ballpark as North Korea and no other nation on earth. Quote. Is that anti-Russian right there? Okay. Stony Brook University. What are they doing with Jonathan Corrado? Huh? Korean Studies Colloquium Series. Oh, look at this. Mr. Corrado is a non-resident. Okay, we start to see the crossovers here, right? Yeah? He's also, right, does it say anything about his Korean society? No, it doesn't. Maybe he wasn't that at the time. However, it does say, once again, he's a white guy, right? We saw that picture. As the emerging leader of the National Committee on American Foreign Policy and a contributor to NK Pro. Remember seeing that before? I do. North Korean. Here you see it an MA from Georgetown University's Asian Studies. Just because it says North Korean doesn't mean it's actually North Korean, folks. Yeah? No, the other one was NK News. Okay, this is NK News, but this is NK Pro. North Korea Pro? Are you serious? What is NK Pro? I'm about to look that up. I have never heard of NK Pro. Maryland College Park. Is that in Virginia? Where is it, Maryland? Maybe it's in Maryland, but Maryland College. Okay. College Park. Maryland College Park. Okay. University of Maryland. Okay, so it's right. It's not that far, right, from Washington D.C. Yeah, we're also right nearby Arlington, right? Yeah, CIA headquarters right here. Okay, Arlington, Virginia. Okay. I'm just saying, right? Yeah. Min Jin Lee. Maybe she's not, right? Yeah. Very interesting though. Okay. And this is just as a Korean American what I get to deal with when I'm trying to explore what's going on in my country, right? You can't trust anything. You got all these people that won't talk to you. You know what I mean? One way or the other. Columbia University's Apex Study Center. Yo, this shit is mad CIA looking. This is mad suspect. So sussy. The most sussy shit I've ever fucking seen in my fucking life. Anyways. But they may say some relevant shit. You know what I mean? This is Jonathan Corrado right here, actually, looking at the picture. I do recognize him. Okay? Yo. Tell me this is not... Okay?
Nick, any thoughts on this one?
Oh, let's look at NK Pro, too. What is NK Pro? It's NK News? Okay. Okay, NK Pro is its own website under nknews.org/pro. There's some weird tie together, right? Look. I'm not even doing that much really, digging here. I'm just doing some real basic shit right here, you know what I mean? NK Pro, the ultimate resource for professionals working on North Korea? What? Okay, I'm a professional working on North Korea, okay. DPRK analysis, research tools, and data? The ultimate tool, are they selling this? What the hell is this? Oh my god, are they tearing down buildings at Kim Jong-un's Winter Palace? They're doing they're looking at things from the sky? Okay. They have, is that a picture in North Korea? Is that really real? Impersonate blockchain form. Okay. Hackers stole files from 10 South Korean weapon manufacturers. I mean, yeah, and war is where the innovation happens. At the Sohei in 2016. Okay. How'd they get these pictures out? Is that even allowed? Vegetation die off from the vertical engine test stand. Ooh. A lengthy engine burn. Okay. Infrared and true color high resolution images show the die off more clearly. Okay, they're taking like heat maps. What the satellite? What the craziness? Wow. Look at these nicely labeled pictures. This is nuts. Okay. Who's buying ads on this? This is very interesting. Okay, how are they funding all this stuff? By Brian Betts. Okay. What is going on here? I definitely gotta ask. I wonder what's his name? Dermot Hudson thinks about this. I wonder if he might know about this, he might not. What is this? Tries to reset his agenda with Rare News Conference. Spotters, those powers do better. Okay. Is there any ads here? It seems like this is an ad, right? Yeah. North Korean docks in Russia as U.S. accused Moscow of breaching oil cap. Okay. South Korea holds life fighters to defend islands on North Korean's doorstep. Okay. Okay, this is like the OG Kim guy, I think, right? Yeah? I think it's the original Kim. So I think they're trying to go directly at the head. I think he's the most revered out of all the Kims, probably. So this is actually an implication and not a nice thing to say. So it is, they call him failure. Who is Peter Ward? Sejong Institute. He's a PhD from the University of Vienna. Who is Korea Pro? Okay, NK News. Oh, look at that, right? Oh, that was interesting. Here we see they're together, and then we see Korea Pro is kind of like a sub thing. We could sign in. What is this research tool? Aviation tracker, sanctions tracker. What? NK. You gotta have a. I gotta have an account here. What is this? What the? NK Energy Index. What is? Pyongyang pump prices. They got people monitoring the pump prices at the. Wow, really? Yo, this is nuts. Are you serious? I had no idea. Statistics database. How do they have all? And they just put it on the internet. Okay. Maybe this is legit. Forgotten embrace of satirical cartoons. Okay. It's a regime crackdown. Okay. The country's journalists are sometimes willing to acknowledge nationwide hardships or problems created. Okay. Kim Jong-un raising rice pay that flooded due to officials' mistakes, but they never tried problems in a satirical manner, and they think that Korea doesn't have any satire. Okay. So they were had kind of funny, and then far from anti-government and funny the party's voice. But the highest level were not allowed to be talked about. Okay, satire is now aimed at the South Korean. Okay, so interesting. And just so you know, here's an interesting, just aside for myself. I remember my parents tried to explain to me some Korean comics, because sometimes like they would have like a Korean newspaper come to the house, and I would see the cartoons there, and I didn't really get it. And maybe it was because a kid, but I feel like the humor itself was just different. Like they'd be like, oh, this person said something embarrassing, and ooh, like I was like, so this is embarrassing. Like, so what? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like maybe it's just more American. So, or maybe it was just that particular humor that just like I don't say like I don't even find all humans, all American comics funny, right? They're not all funny. So, right, maybe this guy was different levels of, who knows? Maybe he wasn't, Maybe it was just that comic that was just kind of not the best comic, or maybe it was, who knows, right? It's just hard to really tell, but just driving down this rabbit hole before it's all over, I guess. What is going on here? But the world of the Korean thing is highly controlled, and without listening to war victims like myself, you will go out and believe everything you hear about other war-torn countries like Ukraine, Russia, or Israel, Palestine. I don't believe the thing. I don't look at how puzzling about what's going on in Korea is. Look at how weird this is, right? Look, there's a Korea Pro with some kind of website that has, what is that again? Analysis. They're writing articles by people who I don't even know. Some people are from like Dutch and Austrian stuff, and it's all in English here. What is there even a Korean version of this site? Like, what is this? Like, isn't this just like some real bizarre stuff here? Like, dead serious. I'm gonna look over this stuff. I don't believe this stuff either. I don't believe in North Korea. I don't believe in South Korea. I don't believe none of this shit, okay? I want to put them all together and see where the stories have consistencies and where they don't. And otherwise, I ain't believing nothing. Lena Parkin, I remember her. Dylan? I do not remember. Dylan is a PhD candidate at Kangwon National University. At the European Center for North Korea. There's a lot of Europeans here. He is the author of Bandwagoning in International Relations, China, Russia, and their neighbors. What is this? And I don't really necessarily trust even the elections here. Digital isolation, government slashes tech budget. That's unfortunate. Who knows? Can you trust that or not, right? Like, what is going on here? Weird. Ports Austria with advanced frigate technology. Alright, we're going to go back to listen to them, but I'm much more skeptical, right? Because we could see that the way they're lining things up, right? She's NK News. Oh, and it does say they are making the tie between Korea Pro and NK News. Okay, I'm glad to see that, okay? Before I was not sure, or I did not really internalize it, so I thought they were trying to maybe mask that. I was just concerned.
Before we move on?
It seems like a really important watershed set of doctrinal changes in DPRK. And we always, as Americans or South Koreans, look at what North Korean pronouncements or behavior mean to us. As Sangshin was saying, we might also be looking at what it means to DPRK leadership and DPRK society, Americans or South Koreans. We receive the external broadcasts or pronouncements propaganda.
Oh, I see. Vigoda, I don't know if you're still watching. I just jumped in. What I think is happening now in the American universities, well, it is actually, I think, being controlled by, it might even be CIA as well, right? Yeah. They don't want things going out of control. So they are actually managing it as best they can. I am very skeptical of what's going on at the universities, to tell you the truth. I think there's a lot of students who mean well, but I do think the leadership of these movements are not what I would be very skeptical.
Propaganda, whatever you want to call it, from DPRK. We don't get the domestic readout of this.
No.
And that's a big lacuna that would help us understand how this is being explained to the.
Are people at Korea society like going to order Korea Pro and start looking up like information about like how much gas costs in DPRK or in North Korea, like that just seems like very like, is that what's going on here? Seems a little odd to me. What is going on here?
Domestic population, the subjects. What strikes me as thought-provoking and fascinating is that changes in North Korean doctrine are not done with a sudden abandon.
Yeah.
There's an enormous amount of thought and care that goes into doctrine, pronouncements, propaganda, whatever you wish to call it. And deciding that one is going to make a break with Kim Jong-il is not so surprising, because he was widely reviled even within North Korea as a terrible emperor, not just a monster, but also a very bad ruler. But making the break with grandfather, with the foundational figure, suggests indeed, as Sangshu says, more than a little confidence about control and command and the vision for the future. So that part of it seems to me really interesting. Of course, separating the two Koreas conceptually doesn't preclude an eventual unification by absorption or a unification by accession, as Jungmin was mentioning. That possibility is still on the table. But there's also the other question of, is this going to lead to a possible change in military doctrine as well? Is this going to lead towards something more like a defense sufficiency approach? On the one hand, North Korea is still developing the short-term missiles that would be necessary for fighting and winning a limited nuclear war in the peninsula. But on the other hand, they're selling supposedly up to 3 million artillery shells to the Russians, which would be kind of a frontline necessity. So still a lot of questions about where this takes us with respect to security.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Nick. And Jungmin, any final thoughts on this one before we move it on?
Yes, I forgot to mention something. Listening to the comments, I just remembered that one of the consensus that I got.
477-3785, press 1. We're going to be talking about a number of different dynamics, y'all. I'm going to tell you the story I'm talking about this juvenile prison thing, you know what I'm saying? I was talking to Mr. McGrone. We had Senator Collins, Damon Dash, and other Mars 2B Nation Islam, they came out. There was people all over that came. There was a lot came to see about them youngsters.